Hey Planet Coaster 2 family, Joe here, and we're back with another great building episode. I wanted to create a Viking build as that's currently the section I'm building in my park. I haven't went on screen with the park that I'm currently building because I wanted to do a world reveal, you guys. It's going to be 5 worlds in the park, including a water park, so I guess you can technically make that 6 worlds. It's also going to have a middle part that's more so plant-based, things like that. Kind of Epic Universe inspired. There's probably not going to be many rides in the middle of the park, if at all any, because we're going to have the 5 different worlds. I'll go more into depth with that once I'm done with the first world, so we can go ahead and share that with you guys. I am making this a, how do I say it, a workshop creators park. It's not going to be just my particular builds, it's going to be creators builds also. Just a way to engage with the community, help support the community, help other creators download their creations. It's, we feel good when we make something, we feel good when we get to share it, and we feel even better when someone downloads it. So this is going to be a creators park. So currently the first world that I am working in is the Viking land. Each world is going to have its own opening that you walk into, and once you walk into this world, you are going to be feeling immersed, just like Epic Universe, that you are in this world of unknown, a world that we don't live in. And each world is going to have that feel that you shouldn't see much of what's outside of that world while you're inside that world. There may be some times where you might see the tops of a coaster. I'm trying to keep it, height friendly so that, it's, nothing's too much of a spoiler. But sometimes it's a little hard when, the top hat of the coasters are, pretty high. But we'll get more into that, like I said, in that particular episode of that park build. That is coming soon, as I am currently still working on that, and these blueprints will be in those parks as well. Um, Sometimes, I have to remove myself from the world that I'm building in and move over to this world, which is my blueprint park. I'll come in here, I'll get creative. As you see in the video already, I'll start doing things and then moving things because I'm not restricted to a particular area. I can just build freely. I don't have to build based off of the required space that I have, left in a world. Sometimes you might build something that you're more impressed with the second time than the first time, so that you go in and remove the first build and put something that you just did that turned out a lot better. I plan on, building all of my buildings. I do try and, you know, keep a lot of my work in the worlds. But I do, like I said, it is a creator's park because I do want to share other creators' creations, as a whole unit of a park together. Um, with this build, I wanted to have the upper level be an employee area. Obviously, the downstairs is also just to keep the flow of the guests out of the build. There's a lot of collision where guests are walking through things. So I wanted to try and keep this to where it was a staff area only so that guests could not walk through it. I was intending to decorate the inside and realized that I hit my 4,000 piece count very fast. So some of the stuff that I wind up putting on the inside I did have to remove in order to save the blueprint as one whole piece. Let's be fair. If we upload a blueprint and it's a 2-part blueprint, a lot of people don't see the second blueprint, or they may see the second blueprint and not the first blueprint and not realize that it needs to be a 2-part blueprint, and they don't really have the whole build. So I didn't want to do a 2-part blueprint with this. I definitely wanted to keep it as it's a whole unit as one. There's some parts in this build you'll see that I literally, this video consisted of three three edits. Each edit was over 3.5 hours long. Um, Literally, this build took me 10 hours of real life time. So, you know, what I may have seen on one day, maybe I wasn't feeling it so much the next day later. And that's what kind of happened with the back of the build. Um, I was building this and I was showing it to my partner, and, you know, it was advised that I redo the back, and that's the route that I took. So with it, instead of having a flat back with, no cutouts like the front, like you can tell that the front is, it's not just flat across the board. There's, ins and outs of the front of the building, and I wanted to do the same for the back. So you'll see that in a bit where, there's no more just flat windows on the back. It did change to it having its own balcony. Um, I was inspired to have a smaller balcony with, the possibility of having a smoking section for the employees who do smoke. That might not be so visible to the guests and is perhaps backed up against trees so that the guests don't visually see, your employees smoking, which, some employees do smoke. It's, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great habit, but some people do it, and you have to accommodate those people. Who am I to tell you what you can and can't do? Here I was finding these pieces. I wanted to cover up the generic look of the bathrooms and the dryers as well as the changing room, because it was screaming modern and not enough mid-century Viking feeling. Even the inside, I was just like, could they have not have made it any more futuristic? Like, do we really, really need all of that? Like, could we not have theme-based drying rooms? I know that they don't tend to do that even for, the bathrooms or the changing rooms, obviously, and, for the water parks, but I guess that's where the creative visionaries come in. We are here to place your little build inside of one of our major creations. Here you can see that I'm putting together a trim for the balcony in the front. This balcony in the front is not the smoking balcony, as you would probably have more non-smokers than smokers, or people who wanted to eat and not be surrounded by people who are smoking, even if they are smokers. Again, the shops on this are not permanent. You can place whatever shops you want in here. I did go with the Imperium, this I think it's called Splash Imperium. I went with that one because I had the changing rooms. I wanted to build something different. Again, the part of my build that I am building this for is not a water park. It's so the shops I will even be swapping out from my section of the park. But it's one of the things that are great with a shell. It's literally just a shell, and the shops that are in there can be easily swapped out. Even if, like I said, I'm not putting this in a section of a water park. So even the changing rooms, I could potentially move out and put more restrooms, things like that. But it's not a bad thing to have changing rooms even in a park. If maybe so the Viking section was closer to my water park, which it's not, so it will be on the opposite side. So those are most likely things that I will easily click on and swap out to maybe bathrooms. Or I could just potentially leave it there and not let it be a bother of anything, but my OCD would not let me do that, so they would definitely become bathrooms. uh, you know, it's it's all about, your own preference. Like, what do you want to put in it? What shops do you want? There's two shops of each in the front. There's guest services, and like I said, the I think it's called Splash Emporium. Excuse me, still new to the shops, but you can put 4 different stores if you want in the front. It doesn't have to be what I place. So don't feel as though you're stuck. You can highlight it and then select the active store that's there and easily swap them out for something of your own liking. Um, the one big thing I love about this game is that there is no right or wrong ways to build. It's, a creative paradise. You can do as you wish. As you see these nets that were probably not meant to be, balcony pieces are becoming balcony pieces. And that's, again, one of the great things about this game. Any piece could be utilized for anything, which is, again, it lets your imagination run wild. You know, it comes with 2 upper levels. Excuse me, it comes with 1 upper level and 1 lower level. Like I did say, I wanted to do the interior of this build, but you really don't realize how little 4,000 pieces can look. With, playing around with a bunch of different things, applying them. A lot of my piece count came from like the changing areas and the restrooms where I was putting the wood pieces on top of each other and lining them back. That came with a lot of count pieces because when it came time for me to delete items to reach that 4,000 goal, I did go through and delete some of those, and I was able to get down to my count really quick. So sometimes finding different items that look similar that could utilize less pieces would help definitely if you plan on uploading it to the workshop. I'm gonna go ahead and tap out here, let you guys watch this. I will jump back in towards the end of the video so I can go ahead and show you the final product. I hope you guys enjoy. And here's where I start to deconstruct the back of the building and add some, you know, texture, I guess you could say, structure, whatever you want to say for it, depth. I definitely want it to be a flat back. Um, wanted to have some shape to it, I should say. So I added the second deck, and this was the smoking area for the smoking employees. Took inspiration from obviously the front of the build, but wanted to give it some of its own character as well, by not placing the bottom beaming, and that it was already small, didn't want to take anything away from the actual size of the deck itself. Hey guys, Joe back. You'll see here that I was realizing that, with me not wanting to put an extravagant roof on, that I should give the building some type of curvature. So I applied this curved roof here, which I just fell in love with. If it's raining, there's still some, awning that's preventing you from getting wet. I definitely wanted it to have an awning through the entrances of the stores and the restrooms so that, if it is raining with this game, weather is possible. So there is some type of dry areas for the guests as well. Um, you'll see in a second, I was thinking about possibly right here, putting it over on the other side. I did not like how the top of the middle section was showing above the deck. I just didn't like the way that the staff who would be upstairs could literally kick the roof if they wanted to. So I was like, why not? Let's just extend this part of the section. So that's kind of what we did here. Um, Here I am using the signs to put the dots for decorations, and it just looks so cool. I love the fact that something that's meant to be a sign of some sort, you can literally put the dots on it and carry it through as a border. Love it. Absolutely love it. Can kind of make your own borders. Again, here I am expanding that part of the ledge. I did not put the ledging on the back side of the deck, just to give that side of the deck its own individualized look, and to also, again, save on some piece count. Here I am just simply copying and pasting some of the nets from the deck and sizing them differently. I was going to have two big pieces, but the way that it was coming down in the bottom, it wasn't something I was looking forward to sharing. As you can see, I went ahead and revamped that side of the build. I wanted to extend the balcony upstairs. One thing I'm realizing now watching this back is that as I extended the patio upstairs, or the balcony I should say, upstairs to the right some, I did forget to place those 3 or 4 additional lamps. So when downloading, you will simply have to just click on one of the lamps, select the lamp by itself, and just apply that to the 4 other beams. Um, Real sweet, real simple. I do apologize. I will try and be more careful going forward with trying not to miss anything, but we're humans. We tend to make mistakes. These barrels you're seeing here are barrels that I put together with some, plants inside. I did wind up pulling them over to the side. I spent a good 20-30 minutes playing around with that. Again, as you get building, you get bored sometimes of building the same thing, the repetitive of working on one single project. So sometimes just simply turning over to the side to start something else is what helps me, so it may help others. So I went over there and I built the planters. I will upload those to the workshop. By the time you see this, it will probably be already on the workshop as well as this build. So here I was placing these little Viking statues, and I placed them in my last build, and I was like, let's try something different. So I went with this. As you can see, the game is paused, and I didn't realize that this was an actual functioning animation, which in return, when I pressed played, I was even more thrilled. Here, I didn't like the fact that the inside of the burning flame area was the same color as the stone on the wall, so I changed the colorization to make it look like it was reflecting from the actual burning of the coal. Again, we're just simply adding some final touches to the building, some decorations. Again, at this point, I didn't realize I was well over my 4,000 piece unit, with, taking over the back end of the building and redoing that. Definitely added a lot more pieces to the build. Again, I didn't have to delete much of these outer decorations because of the fact that I had a lot of pieces on the inside that I was able to remove. It didn't really make sense to have the inside done if there's a piece count of 4,000. I much rather have had the outside look amazing versus the inside look amazing, something that you're not going to see. One thing I love is with these staff signs is that, not staff signs, excuse me, with these customizable signs, is that I put the dots on it so it looked like it was a border of its own, and it went really, really good. Here's the finished product. I was just so happy with this build, like so happy with the way it turned out. When I build buildings, I like to have them multiple openings to enter. I'm not a big fan of a building that's, cut off on all three sides and only have an opening on one side. I like my buildings to look like four different buildings. Each angle has its own viewpoint and its own distinct look, which is something I'm very proud of, is that it isn't just a copy and paste of each wall all the way around. Even with this building, with the deck having so many, different areas that were different, how open I was able to get that deck, even in the back with having that much space back there. I was just in love with it. We're gonna go ahead and try and put it in our night vision so you guys could see how crisp and yummy it looks. Just looks so good. As you can see right there, I can definitely tell I missed those 4 lamps, and I was a little, not happy about that. But again, it's something so simple. You click on the lamps that are already on the post, go ahead and copy them and apply them to the other 4 beams. Real simple, easy fix. I'm not even sure, if, to be honest, if I was getting rid of them just to meet the piece count in order to be able to upload this to the workshop as one whole build. Well guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed all the building on today's episode. Be sure to stop by my channel and check out some other videos for your enjoyment. If you play League of Legends, I'm giving away free League of Legends skins each and every month, so be sure to stop by and check out that as well. Until next time, gamers, keep gaming 365.